Hi there, Danish learner. Welcome back to my channel, Danish Matters. I'm Tina Baga, your Danish friend and tutor. When I talk to my students about what they struggle with the most in learning Danish, they say pronunciation. And definitely that is a big struggle. That is one of the top ones, if not number one. But at least number two is one that they don't really think about. They're not aware of it. It's more subconscious in a way. They don't really think about it, and that is prepositions. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get started, I would like to remind you that if you would like a Danish course with me, write to tina@danishmatters.dk. I have been teaching since 2009, and I can definitely help you all the way with Danish. I've been teaching beginners and intermediate level and advanced learners and pronunciation as well. That is actually what I teach the most, but I can definitely help you at all the other levels as well. Also, if you would like a more, this is a cliche word, but a more tailored course, a more focused course on certain aspects of the Danish language or just certain individual personal aspects that you would like to work with, I can help you with that as well. So write to tina@danishmatters.dk. So let's get started. Prepositions. Early on in my career as a Danish teacher, I was working at Studieskolen, a prominent language school in Copenhagen, and I was talking to a colleague of mine and I said, how do you teach prepositions? And then he sort of smiled dryly. And with his Danish humor, he said, well, I start out by telling them, you're never going to learn this. Of course, he was joking, but there's a bit of truth to what he was saying if you're the type of person who would like rules for everything. And both he and I knew that. So it's a tough one. And prepositions are a challenge because they're actually historically based. That is, historically based in the Danish language. That is, they have developed over time. And when reading older Danish texts, you can actually see that they use some prepositions with certain verbs that we wouldn't use with those verbs today. So there is definitely a difference. And that keeps on moving, I guess, that keeps on developing. And that's also why it's a little bit difficult to really grasp. I guess it's sort of, meets modern day German in a way, because back in the day, there were also certain prepositions or certain verbs that were sort of controlling certain prepositions in the Danish language. And that is what I hear. I don't speak German that well, even though I've learned it in school, but that is what I hear about German language. At least that's what I remember from school, that there are these verbs controlling, in a way, lack of a better word, controlling the prepositions in German. That used to be the case in Danish as well. And of course, we have lots of leftovers from that. And then our language has developed from that as well. So it's sort of like historical Danish mixed with modern day Danish. They sort of meet, yeah? And this is why you can't just stick to rules all the time. It's difficult, at least, to set up rules for Danish prepositions. And that's why you need to play the role of Dumbo the elephant and use your ears and not just hear, but really listen when you hear the Danes speak. You will also need to equally pay attention when you read. Yeah, there you have more time, actually, to pay attention. But let's have a few examples of prepositions just to show you that it might differ a little bit, because it's not just a matter of learning, okay, so this preposition goes with this verb. It's actually a matter of what you want to say. So this is one example that I will give you. It's about agreeing with someone. And already there you can hear the preposition with in English. It's the same in Danish. In this case, if I agree with someone, I would say, jeg enig med dig, med, jeg enig med dig. If I agree to what you say, I could say, jeg enig i det du siger. In English, that would also be, I agree with what you're saying, not in Danish. Jeg enig i det du siger. Or I could put those together and I could say, jeg er enig med dig i det du siger. Two prepositions, yeah? But let's not complicate things too much. So, jeg er enig med dig, jeg er enig i det du siger. You don't have to say det du siger. You can just say, det er jeg enig i. Or, jeg er enig i at, and then a longer phrase. Jeg er enig i at det er dejligt, at det er forår. I agree with you in that it's nice that now it's springtime. Yeah? When we agree with a larger group of people, or at least when there are more than just one other person, or if we are just the two of us, at least two persons are needed, so not just one person, yeah? We agree on something, on in English. In Danish it will be, vi er enige om. Vi er enige om, om. So now we have with, that is med, and we have I, and we have om. Med, I, and om. Just for that one word in Danish, enig. Yeah? And that is why you need to pay attention. It is also a challenge, though, that some prepositions we use with sort of conjugations. Those are the more direction kind of preposition, you could say. And I'm just going to give you one example. We talk about those being sort of active or static. Some people would say active and passive. I don't know if that's really so. Active and static is probably better. One example is, for example, hun går ud. UD, yeah? Hun går ud. She goes out. That is not going out partying that I'm talking about here, but going away from something and stepping out. That could be out of the room, out of the house, out of the apartment, out of her workplace, out of a shop, whatever it is. Hun går ud. Yeah. So she leaves one place and she moves to another place. And that's the active part of it. A person, a thing, a phenomenon, I don't know, moves from one place to another, from A to B. Doesn't have to be that far. Yeah, it could be one step. Hun går ud. Han går ud. De går ud. Yeah. Very short, UD. The thing is that if you are what I call within some sort of frame, that is also a preposition, and it's a long one. That is, we spell it longer. I could say, hun ude i sin have. She's out in her garden. In English, there is no difference of going out and being outside. It's the same word. In Danish, it's not, yeah? Moving from A to B, it's a short one. Being within some sort of frame, it's the long one, ude, U-D-E, ude. Hun ude i sin have, yeah? So some people ask me, but what if she's walking around in her garden? She's moving from A to B. No, she's not, because she's within that frame of her garden. So it still means you can move about. You don't have to stand still. It's a frame and you can do whatever you want within that frame, but it's still the static one, and that is the long one, the long preposition, ude. We use the same type of conjugation, you could say, with, for example, ned, down, and up, up, yeah? So it would be ned, nede, up, oppe, two P's, O-P-P-E, yeah? It's the same way of conjugation, yeah? Moving from A to B, the short one, moving around or being inside some sort of frame, the long one, yeah? There is a word which is not a preposition but an adverb actually, but sort of acting the same way, and that is hjem. I could say, jeg skal hjem. That's the short one, jeg skal hjem. I'm talking about, I haven't moved my body yet. I haven't taken myself from A to B yet. That is from some place to my home, but that is what I intend to do, and that lies within that word, jeg skal hjem. The short one, I'm intending to move myself from point A to point B. And then there is the longer one, being at home, which is the long one. The frame that you're within is your home, yeah? H-J-E-M-M-E, the long one. I'm moving within the frame of my home. Jeg er hjemme. And that sometimes turns into hjem, when we speak fast. Yeah, sort of staying on the M's. Yeah, yim, but it is actually with an E at the end. Yeah? So I don't know if you feel a little bit dizzy about Danish prepositions just yet. That is quite normal, I can tell you. And I haven't even told you about all our expressions or anything. This is just it for now. But I just want to say to you that really part of, normally I would say this to people learning pronunciation with me, that part of or half of learning pronunciation is listening, because what you are listening to is going to come out of your mouth. That's the idea, that's the goal, yeah? But it's the same thing with everything in Danish, actually, yeah? Everything you hear is going to come out of your mouth. So listen for these prepositions. Listen for them and think, oh, now they used på with that verb. But the other day, I heard that someone used that verb with E afterwards. I wonder why. Look it up, or ask a Dane, or ask a Danish teacher. Find out. Be curious. Yeah, find out why and in which connections to use this preposition or this verb with these different prepositions. Just like I told you with any, which is of course not a verb, but still. Same thing goes with reading. And reading is actually excellent because you have time. Yeah, you can stare at a page for 3 hours if that's what you want. Or if you still want to listen, you can listen to audiobooks or podcasts or radio shows, or even watch a movie. That's also listening. It's just also watching. Yeah. Maybe reading the subtitles as well. I mean, sometimes when you hear someone speak in real life, you would like to sort of, stop, freeze. You would like to freeze the moment in order to get what they're saying. I know that because I learned French as an au pair in Belgium many years ago. And I felt like that sometimes, like, stop, freeze, what did you say? I didn't get it. But you can do that with podcasts and audiobooks and so on. You can actually freeze the moment as much as you want. So freeze it, stop it, rewind, listen again, and listen again as many times as you want in order to hear what they're doing. So you need to play the role of Dumbo the Elephant, unfold your ears, not just hearing, yeah? Don't just filter, yeah, I heard something. No, pay attention, listen. Lyt, yeah? Not just høre, but lytte is very important. Lyt, unfold your Dumbo ears, lyt, pay attention, because then you will get what is supposed to come out of your mouth. I wish you all the best of luck with this, and I only have left to say, happy Danish learning!